Mahama must start cracking the whip on the ministers because so far, no, they have been so good. Oh, he odinilemu. But in Crawford, what designating it to me na Ghana for no ye overwhelmingly. Yet, two by the man, no, so are designating the Diamond ministers. They can bring its government down. And I know President Mahama, the person with which I cannot buy way, or person or any MBCC was said about or the Jimmy Dean or the Jimmy Dean. So what's done from beginning, even before crowd or Babedi, Akonyami Aso and in the crown. The 120-day plan or the buy issues or the buy now shows that he wants to distinguish not buying way from the previous buy now from Samosini or Obedi Nadiano. So far, President Mahama solid. But here's the issue. You have me that candle. You have me that candle. Madam, minimum time or director of communication, NDC Western Region. You go shower NDC Congress. I say what Tamalini Adena. Very good person, excellent human relation. But as health minister, the meter candle is on a slippery slope. He's on a slippery slope, and yet because it started with Tamale Teaching Hospital boss your Pamuni. When the real issue. Granted, some papa no wanye na adwuma yie. But consume na boy hina ye nim say adwuma bi emu no. Ye ma room for error. Of course, that room for error no must never ever be result in the death of another person. Any say mo bi ewu. Into where somebody has died a serious issue. But until some become no say whether or not the death of the person was as a result of the negligence of or no Tamale Teaching Hospital administrator, and answer director, no, and answer other officers, or say the corporate governance, no. So we are penny in us SMC, na young woman directly, or cause so problem na a by virtue of someone out here in charge, liability, no, here also someone away. It's your hobby and shed any problem, but how you handled it, and especially when issue, no, especially, it's about say. Ventilator the animal. Of course, that he doesn't produce the ventilator. He does not procure ventilators. And your Ministry of Health, Ghana Health Service, what among ventilators? It's if Obiu as a result of ventilator, where you come near the chain of causation. Perhaps in government will say no. But if we start Tamale Teaching Hospital to issue no, confirmatory, I don't know. What is it? A minister say a year some judge. The data here, what it is very excellent work because they say we are going to get more data for the value, the same value. So you are 10 Ghana cedis, I will get more data. He's done a fantastic job. Now, once I'm done, pressure on the man as Lousu, he should not even start complaining. But I'm slippery slope. So I started with a year first, a blapper, and a candle, so and some job. They have to be spoken to. Also, I won't say we are youthful. And we are me. I was one of the first people to catch them because I was mentioning the way our President Mahama for young people no year Juma in their government. I praise them, say NPP for more young people be brave because if you, it's not like NPP for my young people for chance, but the magnitude, the numbers of young people are more position traditionally na and then it's occupied by young people because share a kind of position. That President Kufuor and President Kufuor and penny phone on handle ye. Now a young person. But more than yama about so be a young and not to say our knowledge but wisdom no a problem. Because I bet you say a Dr. Kufuor who was minister and the Ninian President Kufuor timer. This whole next issue you could have been handled in another way. And the one more money my excess sanity. Say youthful exuberance from they go too far. Here a candle. Oh, say I feel it. Get young giddy yadio. Young giddy yadia. You won't near now quite. And you need an patayan. The way I hear a that candle handle next issue, no, it's not the best. It's not the best. He should have handled it well. Since I also call for retired nurses. Seriously, it's a retired nurses now call for no. Or when you more than near my idea, Juma. Do they know telehealth? Do they know computers? Do they know say machines somebody here, Juma? Hey. This is even a dangerous precedent. And now, retired nurses, doctors, near the end bar. Mobile crash course as to say and saying new knowledge about because be our medical field, the mobile say. Or more upgrade or more knowledge. Or more courses come because now only the chloroquine and then malaria and then you have chloroquine some malaria. Into more crash course. It's just dangerous. Now, say in so doing now, in order to save the situation, say me need food no be who, and now be accident, medical accident, BC, and now issue be negligence case me ba. Would the liability be to who? As soon you know, say Obia Pema. Obiaka command wrong diagnosis because 1950 knowledge did not nipa na dia ba no dey adwuma na any amasa and the treatment assistant and the virus dey be near and bacteria dey be o develop resistance near the immunity to some medication formula by the injection assistant can you know your koyo be said because here pam afi dey pam na o to be the glue skin the glue na tie into the amasa into be more crash course one how more crash course na say the American say be see it won't minister the MSU for negligence and Ghana Health Service and a particular retired nurse no out in the buy-in. You must necessarily sit down and talk to them. But talking to them in your cabin, so attitude, me say, who dear Kobusa, you are kind of respectfully. Busa, who dear how they use you? Because I'm not telling Penny, and he has more political experience than you. Busa, who near how they use you? When he was moved from communication ministry under President Rawlings transition to President Mahama, first time no mobile. They didn't free communication, didn't call a labor. I don't know how they do say their problem. Because for the youngs human relations, the student politics maybe respectfully, I'm not saying say youngs and only know. I know you're a fantastic person. Youngs and you will be. Then I make so human relations there. Me have known you you're solid. But something is missing somewhere. Now yes, is missing one. You will fall into a trap. Because public sector workers they can make you your government ungovernable. This is not the time they get NDC MPP. I see a little bit of the politics going on in Parliament between Yawa, Dr. Ayu, because Dr. Ayu so to mind you, or your medical doctor. It is a next cost striker. It is Nini Dr. Ayu near the cost of Parliament. Don't get speaker it's part of the politics, but at the bottom of it, let's say, I think Dr. Ayu wants the best, and they also know say like. Gargantuan promises be NBC Muyama Kofono. Realistically, no, and possible. And be honest, said, Minister Kate said, demands now nurses they make no. Just say they didn't even budget for it. You see, but opposition, look at I think imagine the opposition. Say MP before and people can't say I'm budgeting and Kabo can at MBC. You see, the way you govern. In opposition, yes, I know governing in government. In fact, MPP is the same. I didn't even afford a central motor because time and then this war 2016. MPP for so you're paying way, you're paying mobile and then you're troka. I feel no more so COVID about Russia, Ukraine war. But the reality of the system is that and you be beyond orbit in your back at death. You will win people over because see, from time immemorial, maybe a journalist, nurses. You know, they want the public sector workers, police, near the Obia salary and so no. Everything that President Kufuor convert single spine salary structure by say Obia salary so now. I can't convert single spine salary structure by. If I President he knows the we need power 209. I didn't see a conya so say President Kufuor trap no because when you say all the corner last minute I was signing for approval because no my negotiations are almost because budget need to be accommodated. And a President Kufuor signing here. It's President Mills about to know what they inherited. Where will government find the money to pay this single spine salary structure? And the public sector workers almost salary is so on that. But a conscious effort to prioritize themselves. What do you budget? And the Busa, you are kind of Kobusa who near to force and no. Say, I think now one accommodating necessary. Because the negotiations are starting. So there is not government cannot claim so on him. Government cannot claim so on him. On him said this is what was going on. At the moment we do politics with everything. I mean now Minister Nasemo Kokaye because you see this is a very serious situation when the nurses are talking about it. To me, that's what they are saying. See, we are very disappointed in government. What government said say there's no budgetary arrangement for us. This is a big blunder. This is a big blunder. Why did government not make any budgetary arrangement for nurses? Why? But any small group, public sector workers, Abai is the number one, the biggest employer in Ghana. It is all there also my arrangement to be for nurses. How is that possible? How is it to say I didn't have to try Abai enter? But see, this is the trick. Where these errors have happened, no? The role of the minister so kasa nyansa wom kasa sebi brusem predia some patronye to spite the minister in any way. I'm just using that advice for want of a better word in American because may respect you kind of but as someone in chini wom, that's what I really mean. Because even the scriptures in Proverbs say a calm answer it will remember a buffo no matter how angry the person is it will man a bathroom and even Tabaya making budgetary allocation Kasa ubenya catch the wunianum and the man a bathroom. It's a candle. I think you should take cue from Tamale teaching hospital issue to waste. Say calm down, pipe it down, cry because public especially health sector almost some them so up and we are ready season when you doing the lie. Cholera beba tonton malaria ni ade beba so mo extend this strike ya kwa chia na omo wie na doctors de omo de aso so na mortuary workers class omo so omo ntiati na pharmacists de omo de aso lab technicians e de omo de aso so afi other health allied one for no so e ka waso be yese enti na Monday na me kate mu focus president mama ye de hi ansa na ye de fata me amone na ye kwachi we is unnecessary moya ora ye mu digidi ya kwachi nkoko we don't use a pipe down focus yo 4 years pen hour what the teaching nkoko it is subject to the prosecutorial processes and the court processes and it will spend energy me kan sama mu kwachi obi afesi kan ade amamu kwachi no but that will not be the priority. Focus on where because in Kamuya oral obviously somebody didn't even focus on public sector health or workers. Because more focus our workers there so say you focus on oral and can move budget. You see the exposure. Where when the oral what the fundamentals of the orals are not working now. Yeah, where the public sector workers salary will expose you. This is it. Some focus on health workers, salary, Ghana workers in general. She said you focus on oral. Which we could chase go airport. Even when the code has a qualified document. I just say a BOG Bank of Ghana for the call Bank of Ghana. They charges no here not I feel now what say you must make a case in court. And it does not lie even in your prosecution. It lies in what the court admits and what the court accepts and what the final ruling of the court is. And come what to me work at the salary room. I think the president Mahama must start cracking the whips. Look, guys, there were 4 years ahead. But focus on the unnecessary. Not only workers and casa. Until I say you are kind of say no, anything piano or posture who didn't mean I must change. The posture didn't mean I must change because doctors, nurses, midwives, lab technicians, almost really want drag it a day we are strike we are. Nipe be woo Ghana no. And yes, more. Now you see, there's a fundamental issue that you people are not even thinking about. Just say Ghana, immigration for the mama. Now I'm Ibrahim Traore Burkina Faso by now for jubilating. There's this fundamental issue sweeping around West Africa and for cool na attractive, cool na the more of them public workers issue are dragging, the more it creates a perception, the more it gives the desire. So we may don't do that. But the mama doesn't deserve that. We have come too far. We have come too far. It's here I change your attitude, change your demeanor. Change you demeanor because na make from permanent teacher saki way no as much as for radicalism no the radicalism must be applied in context. You must look at the totality of the circumstances. Niamani now for you say oh here we are my party full soldiers next is midwives and doctors so when you party full soldiers too almost strike here the party full soldiers it's up to you to prioritize who do you want to please. Do you want to please the system? Do you want to please the workers? Do you want to please the majority of people? And a party full soldiers, so you're there's a way that you communicate with them at a certain level. But the general population, the critical mass of the workers who hold I want to there's a way that you deal with them. And then I was all careful. It's my number way,
over the current impasse leading to the strike and the suffering patients enduring, the ministry states emphatically that government appreciates the invaluable contributions of Ghanaian nurses and midwives to the development of the health sector. Government remains committed to the needed engagement that will lead to the approval and implementation of the new conditions of service for nurses and midwives.
What's the problem? I think government is committed to negotiation. Government is committed to engagement. What do something different? These public sector workers, so we essential services. What thing I want here, you might any now, what the minister is doing, kudos. Just after year coming now, you have no option but to listen.
Accordingly, government has directed the Minister of Finance and the Fair Wages and Salary Commission to, as a matter of urgency, lead the development of a roadmap to ensure a smooth implementation of the process. We engage the leadership of all Nurses and Midwives Association within the health sector on 30th May 2025 to address their challenges and discuss the subsequent roadmap leading to the implementation of the new conditions of service. Fortunately, the other associations supported my intervention, with the exception of the GRNMA, which declined and proceeded to declare the strike on the 2nd of June 2025, despite the NLC caution.
We're say Omoni Nkofo negotiating, with the exception of Ghana Registered Nurses Association. Even the National Labour Commission no declare strike. Never say a kind of kukum. Because if they say they have nothing to lose, they can strike. You can't sack the nurses. Look at the number of nurses here in Ghana. You can't sack all of them. Retired nurses and doctors are in Ghana. I think the same number as the nurses or more payroll says here. You cannot sack them. It's in you, and this is what I'm saying, the minister and your communication, your interaction with them. Even go back to those issues. So we try to resolve it, I hear you, but we are going back to the drawing board. We are committed to dealing with the issues. But to say all these slow down. No strike here, they say honorable nipa you cannot handle it. So don't start a war that you cannot finish. Do not start a war. I want to mean finish it. But first some of these things you have to go behind closed doors. When I'm and I don't know registered nurses and midwives there's some diplomatic way, unconventional ways of dealing with the issue, not just this one. Why? Because anything else listen,
any fault. It is their right. They are seeking their right. I would want to know any of you who think this just is not justified in Appendix A of their CBA. Is it the issue of rural incentive allowance that was agreed, that is meant for nurses and midwives in the rural areas, so that we can have nurses and midwives in the rural areas? Which of them would you say is not legitimate? Is it the issue of fuel allowances, which has been historical since 60s for these people? Is it the issue of uniform allowance, which has been there since the 1960s? It couldn't have been changed in any republic, and it cannot be changed under a previous government. It cannot be changed now. We are here to plead with the nurses to understand that even if governments see the need to engage them, they should go with a good faith with Ghanaians at heart, because getting all the money without the lives that we have lost brings no joy to anyone.
I like what Dr. Ayiwe Kano. I like what he's saying. Say all 2 million nurses for say they should not be motivated by Jessica Kwan, because and this is the kind of cooperation. That's why I didn't like the initial politics. No, into Dr. Ayiwe, even though I'm making extreme politics with it, but at the bottom line of it, all my medical doctor and told him, minority voting, I be on doctors. So when you then say we are dealing with life, so when you don't nurses for her. And the role of nurses, is so crucial to the survival of our constituency for. And the Oma me cooling nurses now force a score political points against NDC, you know. Oh, can't hear NDC. Now NDC there, almost say nothing. It will go over everybody. It go over everybody. It go over everybody. So I like the poster now. If I say, doctor, are you a free afano? Anyhow, he's handling the issues and the nurses. The nurses need extremely justified. But for the sake of nipa that's any life into no more must can't go and the issue. But almost managing that's why I didn't like and the politics never also on the floor of parliament affairs the petitions we can know. But those ones in there, what you want to but inside parliament, they're part of those just for checking reasons so really no, it doesn't need anything there. I hope say let me resolve this issue because I mean at the end of the day, in Ghana for and I hear on my own cost one in a say and you might be begging seminar problem.
So as minority, we are mindful of the fact that we are not stoking it up and asking them to prolong the strike. We are only asking them to be merciful as far as the tables are concerned, that when they go to sit, they must be merciful to see the need to be reasonable. Reasonability means you appeal to their conscience and say, if you are asking for 8 things, we cannot. You know what? In the budget, we'll do 3. Maybe the next budget we'll do 2. Let government change their posturing towards these people and let them not use the law and let them not frighten them.
When you are let government just change its posture. Change your posture. Let me know. At the end of the day, you will lose. You will lose. They have nothing to lose. At the end of the day, no more. They have nothing to lose. So, almost strike here. And one say it's salary but they have nothing to do except that almost be area, almost hospital, and they will face the same predicament now. Move facing, but we must deal with the issues properly. Look at the end of the day, no, oh my Ghana, and then here, and we are all doing this so that you may save you, oh my Ghana. You know, the point I was raising about say a year, now okay, some George day, and then data prices or more reduce. Say at the end of the day, no, is that a positive thing? What I said, that's a very positive thing. Say, oh, you're reducing data prices because you'll be happen or not. But there may be no be concerned about some George. Response I would demand on social media. I don't make I say. Ministers need be under President Mahama. Oh, check John Dubelo Abrante with Ghana. I just love John Dubelo and how there's a excellent job. Excellent job. Excellent job. Now, John Dubelo here. So, if you are so overly fixated on say social media, any idea now? What mistake? If you're overly fixated on social media and social media, friends, I'll be any idea. Because now no confrontation as I'm George taking tree boy I'm busy responding to important people. There's some unimportant people here to Abama. So be to Abama why you don't go there to discuss first the important the only important. Obiabo to be on the Bema Obia Obiabo to be on the Bema Obia what changed? I just hope said some George near my better sign. I know say or not so I mean deliver data and now we are getting more data for the same amount of money that we used to use. For me, I think that's a positive thing. There was a bonabaso that at least what they will deliver. But I mean, you don't expect the minister to be an angel. But see, sometimes they want he should even know so a target. He should know so a target. Got a tear. But the tears no who we are to wait. At a tear or no as the who's no. So this one here we have high trainer and go no some George just say go back and go back her. You see, and that is why I have a pressure because of the honor other people. See, I mean, they go MPP for and also talk about MPP national executive because I hear say almost here changes like will be to say Yera Kokofu wants to contest as general secretary. General secretary. And I think that people like that or chance. See, I those issues. But a quick one again on nurses. They say, look, the nurses are demanding. Say, they will make sure say they will get their pound of flesh. And say government decision to appeal to retired nurses not to come no and for a brief period. But I don't think that's the best decision because and then knowledge you say now 10 years, 20 years there. and osika na be spend the amount crash course. My updated so and then we say yes no malaria say yes no since can you could have used it to even cool this necessary we have emergency bonus muji we come to honam back so this I don't agree with it in the past they don't just say it is right say was here yes sir or some way careful because in penny no cry the next say bibi cry you omo na kwan so na bibi ya okom de musika na etua omo uniform ni ade uniform dey I think abroche na omo de musika you get one. And then the subsequent ones, the one Hobeto or something like that. Now, I'm not too sure about the full details in that bridge, but I know that almost some of their uniforms, But I'm saying, I was saying, it's about negotiation. I like the minority posture. Say, you're quite able to me, I'm a discussion, and yes, I'm a enterprise to me about it's the only penny back. So when a nurse or midwife goes on a normal duty and gets in an accident, they bear the cost, which shouldn't be the case. Because they are within the scope of their employment. And it's when you accident, the liability should be on the employer. Government of Ghana. So what you say, I don't know what's what nurse, I also nurse in the year, also nurse, paracetamol there. The nurse will not be the one paying for the cost of the treatment. But if I call MPP for him. And here are Gokopu, I have really learned my lesson. I have learned a lot in opposition. If we win power again, I won't use a V8. I don't know. I'm rooting for him, say you become the general secretary. But I think Myanmar will say, okay, it doesn't make you sincere. So, I won't look it like Onokafo at this time now. The overwhelming support that NDC is enjoying. But the overwhelming before anger, resentment towards MPP. If you want to a real, if you want to a warranted, if you also a warranted, because MPP before now, no ye, the brace for my ye, but I can't mind ye no. Why hinty before the time trouble going to no free as well. And you can around this time, I doesn't make it sincere. Never do I will find out they accept Kukum. But I think that the point you can raise is that never be ye. We will do better. But the packaging of the communication must be done well. Also, when politicians say they move communicators, and your communicators, we say, I'm talking about professional political marketing communicators, professional political, it's Dr. Isaac and Timoni. There's a way that you package your communication. And then the full soldiers now, you know, how they manage and package their communication in opposition. It's work for them, but they are shortened. You go for them, you go for every before and now the reality of the economy is staring in your face. No? Even this dollar issue cry, there's so much fuss about it. I'm like, government, Motomobo. Now say Donald Trump started off fixing in year 2 years time. But for now, I mean, for the politics of it, it's all right for NDC to enjoy because see, the city dollar exchange rates had become a major albatross. Just since Ghana Koma, they have no choice but to do politics with it. That's allowed. They have to. But at the end, dollar. This government buy. I think budget 6 months. The dollar never from the could not realistically be to any major thing their government here. No. And foreign shocks. Any kind of Russian currency, UK currency, again. The dollar is falling because of what is happening. The tariffs, trade war, personal. In the economics, that substantially, and yet but substantially, no. The major cause of dollar falling here because of those international issues. We are living in a global world. Though. Ghana is not an island. It BBC or Russia Ukraine war, COVID, it was true, but no why there was extreme resentment against Abajo, Bibia or Bekabiano, Ubian. And that's why NDC must learn from it in the packaging of their communication. And that's why I'm also saying, Kokofuni MPP must also learn to package their communication well. Now, that's all you do via to be hello, because mobile from 1992. When you send Article 71, let's see a man with 2 cars. There's no political will to remove Article 71 from the Constitution. Because there are more political will some over here. Creation of the regions, somewhere. There are 16 regions. There's a political will, you do it. Free SHS, Yes, it's a can work around. Then political will govern it. What is it? But when say no V8, you will do it. And see, but you see, I like Wafakokofu because see, I think that MPP, baby, or more, you know, they are in the same predicament. They need somebody with wisdom. And yeah, minim party, and yeah, my Dumana keke. And yeah, I understand politics. They need all that plus will be an need or human relations or one wisdom to understand the nitty-gritties or the cruciality of saving party. Yes, sir. 2028, you must as well kiss it goodbye and go and sleep. Because it's not as simple as that. You will need more. You will need more than just because FPP doesn't have the goodwill. And the Yawa could be supporting if he's going for general secretary. I support him. Say me, the person I know, I said the American candle, the excellent human relations. Yawa could phone him kasa. Onima seminar kara se piapini. Onim papa say we are boy but better with a smile. And what father those are the people that MPP need right now. Say see no money goodwill no. Say see no a before resentment abano. Say see no NBC appears to be delivering somewhat table of flow. Delivering somewhat because early days yet. You need people like that. They will be seen as not necessarily antagonizing NDC, but because you see the crucial role of a general secretary in important human relations. Anyhow, they can at the same time go and fix the grassroots from polling station level, constituency level, regional level to national level. No, is the fact that NIPA points at Ashanti region, which is the World Bank of MPP, 33% voted NDC. The last election 2020, NDC had 24% or 27% of Ashanti region. And people must necessarily win over the vote, from Ashanti region number 1, number 2, Greater Accra region. And when they put that the biggest population, the whole Ghana, Greater Accra region, and also. Because these two regions have prepared to NDC, and other regions also followed. No? So when you're general secretary, when you're national executive, so more media, almost politics, I say, almost grassroots politics, I say, almost party one from both nothing, almost not floating voters, I say. Good relations will be a one cotwa because they can win the people over. So it's not a matter of just fixing the broken system that when people move from no, but it's also a matter of how do we get our people to come back? How do we get our people to come back? That's why now they catch them say Kennedy Japan position is not the best. Kennedy Japan position is not the best. Because when you obia or see someone here, or at least to Kennedy Japan say something, but to a large extent, no, and you be so. Because baby, I want to know you are bleeding dada. Mopla, and one party me bleeding dada. It is a way you have a threat. Swung, where you have a threat. Nasa, one crop, Nipano man to Abama. So, wait there, Pamutomun Samra Daka. Oh, voters in the voters have nothing to do, though. Say, before you who supported some to my I said, you voted for this massa. And we grown Mubeja Mundai. A grown Mubeja Mundai because Uncle Sive. Say, Lumbeja Mundai. Because party, the essence of political party, may try another government. Because more MPP for cry, no lose power, no more baby video. Now, okay, MPP, he will lose because of attack being safe journey after some and MPP now, one MPP now. So you can't blame anybody. You can't blame a voters. Never do one they ought to happen. Say there are 2 MPP now, 2 MPP no man lose election. And after the answer you order my communia. That's the one more communia. If you don't blame anybody, yet try politics is about multi-party democracy. That's what we are practicing. As you see, won't change this. And obviously, MPP elders they plan a courtesy call to Mahama to seek pardon for who to me. Oh, I have to be for a month as I know who to me take account. Into why are you going to President Mahama to seek pardon for who to me? Mom said he take account now. Because I just thought that then why are you going to President Mahama to seek pardon for who to me? More calls are happening. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. But I think everyone wants to so because you see, well, I think before we break, I something ready. What's that? I don't know better supporting wood to me. Because they want let me want to be say wood to be count on my lose elections. Not to be the goal, not the pointy. But I'm not the end. I make the advice people want to forget it. If they want to heal the party, they must necessarily forget and forgive and move on from there. And yes, mobile contact pass to me winning 2028, and then they won't forget it. So I like what they are doing, but the question is, see, this is where the discrepancy comes in, and the differences in treatment also come in. Say, online person here, what we are pointing idea go daily now. Now we see a branch we are mobile phone and casa board 700 Ghana cedis by a century to 18 years. Okay, benya elders a mama papa president a child so that they don't prosecute the person now. Because local prosecution is grounded in law. 2 million police for one. I don't know what I'm setting up Yoko. Law no more establishing Yoko no. Part of the police power near the my Yoko. It is a part of the Attorney General power near the Office of Special Prosecutor. No, sir. It is an ordinary person in your someone. Come to obey your Biamana for president and company. Until when Yoko folk claim said issues no more chasing to me about corruption. It's about money laundering. And if some in a fight corruption, and the young part of manana. I don't have any problem moms or part of my wood to me because I mean after all he's a human being. In any case, maybe I come from the school of thought say Samusi Obia for Bisikana indeed you can establish it in court. You seek about this issue of say Obi Kofesikanye ko jeleni. It doesn't serve Ghana any purpose. I'm not just for come money there are some except when there's fraud. But I guess Sikabi on my community service why you are my child drama. Prison. Yeah, find yours out. That's why I supported Ghana law. You plea bargaining deal law. Yeah, Ghana you know. But ordinary people be brainy. Ordinary people be brainy. Njono Korea banche, o Korea mobile phone, o Korea body any that go to 18 years, 19 years, 5 years, 6 years. Not politician there, you could catch a president. But that people needs it. Because they can't just throw wound to me away. Because also politically, you know, it's sending the wrong signal. If they throw wound to me away under the bus, it's sending the wrong signal to people say, MPP for no money, I mean, this kind of political cases, they follow the same trajectory. They follow the same trajectory. Chicken, they Japan party, they just, you know, crazy now, Kosiaga. Koko, you know, Saham to party, you boom, police headquarters, to Korea, and Kosiaga. Koko, you know, look, and now, that enemy for NDC. Would to be this, other people, which is some. You know, and you want to mean so for the sake of elections, now person win, you know, and for the sake of building MPP party, want to mean so to use this Yoko arrest rate open to no for. Want to mean must use this Yoko issue or advice on home. Say, Subambi Auda and the class said be attitude be you must change. Say what you change here? And I'm more before now the better affect him. Would to me now because you must be seen to be a unifier of this Ashanti region. For the first time, FPP move base Ashanti region. Additional 5% of the total votes in the Fatuma NDC. There's also additional record number. In order to win all those people back, would to me must change his attitude. Executive, in fact, Ashanti region for the baby worker was over you or Mupamo said it. National executive advocates or baby. There must be a conscious effort, say, NPC making mistake or making mistake, which is likely in every government. But who NPC, you must do your homework. You must do your homework. One young homework, you know. But at the end of the day, no, say at the pressure, it's on MPP abide. It's NDC abide. Because see, say we must remind NDC, say they're not reminding, yeah, and MPP to NDC, we are not in power. More pressure and more power. So everything must understand that this time around, more power. We are descending on you. You are the one who have the social contract with the people. One hour social contract with Ghana for. What the person will deliver. It is a way deliver or be as well. You know better. Until the or see them do what. We have to deal with everything. Nearma work 120-day plan. Niama NDC maka budget mu. Niama ma promise Ghana for some obey. You must deliver it. Na se man deliver so I was here to make her. Man deliver so I was here to make her. And you can't motion this man to one go see a made attempt because of this whole nonsense. Apaswa political mercenarism. And to be a can assembly and opponent attempt. Oh, yes, someone for could do your matter just to shut them up. Well, what kind of behavior is that? In any civilized society, Biano, yes, sir. Man, Bia and the beer womb. The foundation of your 1992 constitution and your bro for a friend multi-party democracy. Just say Ghana any party back there. And you be criticizing party back one. You should not insult the person because you don't have any sense of entitlement to say me party to men can come party at him. That is our democracy and that's no. On the on the democracy and go to the democracy and say criticism critique account. And the same pressure near them MPP before no. The same pressure criticize your more free SHS. Economy need to me accommodating. You let me criticize your more advice to agenda 111. Yes, is kind of way. Where would you find the money? It's the same pressure and the Bema MPP. It's the same pressure and the Bema MPP. It's the same pressure. NBC, we must make sure NBC will deliver. No NBC full soldiers to come and insult anybody. And in any case, there's no amount of insult. And I'm ready at my best here up. The OT gun or the OT brochure, the OT online, the OT on ground, in the sky, in the moon. No amount of insult will shut anybody up because constitution is we should hold every government responsible. You hold the MPP for accountable free SHS. Omudi Ashanti region bauxite tika ebeye pokwase any idea interchanges 5 on province Ashanti region man we criticize them every day. Now do catch them ahemfo monso ina munchian you criticizing every day. We will bring the same pressure on NDC. We will bring the same pressure on NDC. And make no amount of insult will change that. No amount of insult will change that. It's able to be bedi obi atem. See e di matema come anu because you must allow President Mahama to work. A criticism, not critique, is part of politics. Democrats, except on democracy, and the Mohammed Tory David. We are cool there, and there will be any right to be and they're not a constitution and Kasapa has been overthrown. It's any soldier no aban. Oh, declaration of the Bay human will be a BDH. It will criticize NBC. We will do it boldly. We will do it heartily. We will do it bluntly. And no amount of insults. Anyway, changes are there. No, what you say? But the media attempt, because the attempt quite to change the story anyway. It's your no one at the very area say, and you may be Edma. But still, office of special prosecutor. Oh, I'm not already SM of one. I don't have any problem. Read all you want. Say them open. And office of special prosecutor today have the power to search. They have the power to search. They can go for a court warrant. And the warrant to specify baby or munko search. And if court are the right to search. Why? They should search. By all means, special prosecutor should search everywhere. Be also search. Be on search it. And the support special prosecutor search. Wherever I was search, search it. Now make sure say emnano because yet now search baby I was search because special prosecutor has to prove. I also prove our evidence to support Adi Aokanon. Now our evidence to support Adi Aokanon, I say one collecting a year. And then they will be able to say evidence now. Now you are doing the right thing. It's a support office of a special prosecutor. Some ready SML officer. As long as they had the warrant. Only warrant and never had it. But if they had the warrant, that authorizes them to say, oh, by all means, office of special prosecutor, I'm going to search it. SML one, I'm going to search it, type BAB, search it. Search it pa enti almost in conform some more cryptic message and they need to be heavy because that the point remains say office of special prosecutor no right. They have the power na police for kutano OSP sukutebi me the issue na me let OSP nya no has this whole media attention I didn't and I was challenging him to look so ordinary people's cases be on my way I will to me conclude case no on the same attention on political cases. That's the political case in the France and also. We want actual work. Why yet? what the scam and Ghana government are here because everybody supports you. It shouldn't be that there's an attempt to do the job in a certain way. Say, I say, no, it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. But by all means, if a woman here say to me, in a way, I'll bet you Ghana, to Canada, but on here, Ghana, any baby, one of the cats on support it. We all support it. What you say? We all support it. Someone is now, my people call NBC USA. I was so much. I was the mama now campaign is here now. Now say no, and these are my diaspora people, you know. Don't we have for. I'm just a president, Mahama to Moja, campaign Musano. Positions there by any now to our more movie. Do it or more kind president Mahama. Say, he promises, obey, ma or movie. Almost deserve it. It's the NBC USA, no. Because I think that, I mean, to be fair, they have a point. I've always been at the of the school of thought, say, yeah, and they are exposed. You have to travel and see. There's no, I'm not going to be but a lot of people they took out the chairman, they've learned. Knowledge, it won't fit. Say, business as usual, we must bring them on board and give them position and try on with it. Now, I say, fantastic work I do to me, you know. If you are to California, and another man opportunity. No, I support this call by the NDC in the diaspora. Almost more opportunity. I support this call by the NDC in the diaspora. Say, more chance maybe. No, more money if they can take Ghana to the next level. I support them. My position maybe. I mean, they are doctors, they are nurses, they are architects, they are business people, master business or many. Because see, the reason why you hear Abroche for them to come and help government is that they don't do things the usual way they are Ghana. And unless we have a robust system where we can actually help our people. And yes, we don't have usually. In fact, I don't know. We need people who can think outside the box to craft for Ghana. It's President Mahama. I support this call, but my own opportunity, no more social our government, because you have only 4 years, and more so that's even the more critical reason why you need Abroche Fowe to come and help build the system. Yes, but I support this idea. Say more opportunity, no more social and from how we money accelerated. Okay, one of the fantastic things that President Kufuor when he became a president, or your homecoming summit. Said Ghana for what brocho munim Ghana for one we are bringing them back. Why? To support the system. In fact, our homecoming in President Kufuor and no man Ghana some solid people there. Start a business. So why not? Why not, President Mahama? I agree with them absolutely. Say, more chance. Now, Abroche for what said the Papa President Kufuor so buy no I mean, if it's been done before. And in why not repeat it again and see how, especially in this day and age, advancement. Abroche for things that they are doing. People are helping Europe governments, British governments, American government, Asian government. They are very solid position. They even one day, one of the key people, transform Rwanda. I don't see why I ain't Ghana for you will be our approach that you bet me you soon about build your mind. We should allow the person to just rot because you person you bet me you soon the panel. The president mama but and what bonus please I be seeing people who pay card they campaign they go to approach you. Never you don't want to appoint these people. I don't think approach for no appointment for the sake of it. They so my human pay. And yes, omo be the baby on me doctor nurses the money they are making. Obi give 400,000 a year. They don't need Ghana's cap, but so then the contribution knowledge be buano. Nemo when you care for some fake doctors be a because I mean you must check the credentials of people. Answer na mama right. Say nipa no pretend they say oh yes something that they are not. We don't want another scandal. That embarrassment is just unfortunate. Completely unfortunate. But my from Kwakotia, here in Adama Yamana Basokra Kumi. And it could be because we're winning contempt case. No, I'm a Supreme Court to me overturning contempt case. But I think the contempt case is minor the substantive case. Because substantive case na kata wo. And the substantive case is saying And say Kumi. Elections now Akotia is one of the flashpoints in Ghana. It has always been a flashpoint in Ghana from before Baba Jama. Even Eastern Regional Papa Eastern Regional Chairman. Now, we're finishing. From the time to Evelyn, NDC women organizer, you come near Akotia, Evelyn. Baba Jama. It's always been a flashpoint. A conviction now over 10 years contempt case now. You go and forward when the court Supreme Court had done it. The substantive matter that elections was there was a problem with it. There were irregularities in the election. I think the case still remains. And I'm also one of my that should be also a mutual case in Nugodi. But I mean, interesting times ahead of Ghana. Interesting times. Now we will follow all that because we need critique of the system to make the system perfect. What you say? Because the time say Supreme Court has overturned the Kofodia High Court conviction. Kofodia High Court and a conviction of NSDL committee, the member of Parliament for Akotia for contempt. So the Apex Court also nullified the execution of a bench warrant. Go to that bench warrant tonight. So confusion to member Parliament. But you see, MPs I knew. MPs were immunity. So I'm passing the Parliament and not Parliament. Not to be channel. Not to be channel. That's why they've also not been able to arrest him. Justice Emmanuel Senor Amadahe or no issue bench warrant contempt conviction because it was based on the contempt conviction. No say young question and brand because your friend of court will be court will bring court in MB. So that's what contempt no really no is about. Say court I can't be the way so I see a BB and also maybe be the way yes a contempt. Supreme Court 4-1 majority. 4-1 majority. You see, and this is the why people try to politicize the judiciary. Because the last time I will say the decision was made on Wednesday morning by a 4-1 majority ruling. When I'm sorry, I might say Supreme Court is unanimous FC. This is an MPP case, but the same Supreme Court one, nothing has changed. CJ no still because CJ now see on full hold. She's still there. And I look at the justice of the case also. That is the cases because acting CJ he hasn't changed anything. And I said acting CJ and go for some label to say Justice Bafuboni or NDC. And so look at this case now. After your lawful no corona, it is clear in the law. There's nothing the Supreme Court can do. All the law on the back to baby was said from 2012 election petition confirm so level atuguba and NDC and Justice Tokonusa or NPP ni you see we should not do that because the history of Ghana step said in say who say ya na ma yekokum judges who say ya na yekokum judges and this so-called acting CJ, I must say, I'm not just about money there. Or your first NDC ni Obama 4-1. So man panel court 4-1 in favor of MP. Mama yem protect your judiciary no as sacrosanct. Ye na judiciary ni free and sa ye woo. Ye na judiciary no a free and sa ye woo. And mama pa just ni see next week no guess no telephone na be baba. Na ye nyina dey solid na dey na to ba say ye nyen church first say dey na dey channel but mama good evening na mama ka ati na kese nkoma production team no mesa kodo answer ne DOP edi be dey connecting ni na but thank you so much say ne mo join here on Jasu media from me bim dey afia pokanti next week Monday ye the full squad no ne full panel no ebeba na ye the discussion no e dey abram team